Hello and happy Friday. For today's build, we're doing a bar. For this one, I don't know what it is in particular that gave me the idea of doing a build, zombie apocalypse based in those up. Or actually, let me start that over. I really wanted to build a bar that was set in the post-zombie apocalypse, obviously, because I know that in Stranger we have the Sims that are obviously tweaking a bit. So I wanted to do a old not rustic, shabby bar. So keep in mind, if you guys do want to download this is not gonna be your nice clean bar. I littered up with a whole bunch of overgrown grass. What else I do? I did some wall decor to make it more dirty and all that stuff. I also did the lighting all in gold. I can change the lighting shades. I felt that for whatever reason that the gold lighting brought the feel of like an not old, but just a rundown bar. I feel like that helped with the aesthetics. So that's why I went ahead and did this. Or did that, rather. And then this build actually is based off of a build I saw on Pinterest. Pretty close to how it is on the photos. I'm very proud about that. I was able to almost copy it exactly. So yeah. Honestly, it was really fun building this, just because I have more like freedom and creativity. I felt that it was even though obviously I could be creative with all the other builds, but for some reason, given the theme of zombie apocalypse, I felt that obviously you can get carried away and do a whole bunch of stuff. I also used I'm not sure if it's a shell exactly, because it comes with the Get Famous pack, that like the rundown building. I did one next to this build here, just because I wanted to look like the building next door was decayed, I guess is the best word I can describe it as. One thing I'll say, as you see the red exclamation point at the top of the build, I forgot to add a TV, which was a pretty easy fix. I just put one in the bar, obviously. But yeah, I feel like while it doesn't seem that hard, it was kind of tough to find like versions of stuff that were not older, but dirtier and more run down. Because obviously Strangerville, where it was packed, the basement pack, I don't know exactly what it's called, but those were really helpful during this build. Oh, as well as the death, what is that pack? The one with the raven on it, life and death, I believe. Those are very helpful, just because they're that like rundown look. So those are definitely easy to build. I was thinking of doing pack limitations, but I got carried away. So this is another build that's going to be filled with a whole bunch of packs. So I'm sorry about that. But either way, it was really fun to build this. I really enjoyed it. It took me about a total of maybe 2 hours to build. I actually had my footage got corrupted. I don't know how that keeps happening to me, because I do record on OBS and I make it I'm not sure if you guys know what I'm talking about, because I don't even know what this is. But I record it as an MKV file, then it transfers to an MP4 file, which is the standard, or at least to my knowledge, standard file for videos. But it got corrupted for some reason. I was looking up how to fix that, because I recorded it, like I see here, you are watching me going through it and not have like things prepped and then putting it, if that was a weird way of structuring it. But yeah, I was doing that approach to it, but because of my crypto file, I had to take out the stuff and then put it back. So look, you guys can see how I am building it. But yeah, so that's what I'm. So far, this is the file that was saved. But yeah, I don't know why. Again, for some reason, the zombie like apocalypse old rundown build came to me. Probably just because of that photo on Pinterest. It really did have that, obviously, the shaggy look. So I wanted to put that there. Speaking of shaggy, I know there's a little random. If you guys watch The Mythical Kitchen, I believe is the name of the show. But I know Matthew Litter was on it recently, and I really want to see that one. That's like a show I really enjoy. About, if you guys don't know, it is essentially they have guests on the show, typically obviously celebrities, and they have essentially their last meal. But yeah, that's personally always interesting to me to see what would be on others' meals. I feel like realistically, if I was in that scenario, I don't know if I would eat. Like, would I be, like, would I have the appetite? That's one thing I'm not sure. But yeah, obviously a lot of people go overboard and would want to have a whole bunch of their favorite foods, or some would be like, but very interesting. I really like to see, the concept of the show is really cool. Or, yeah, the channel. But yeah, I feel like I would go for nostalgic foods. And obviously the favorites I have, I don't know what it would be. I don't really think about it too much. But it's definitely interesting to think about. I'm kind of curious if you guys have anything, if you guys have thought it out before, what would be on your guys' last meal. Because I don't know, I'm trying to think. What are some like foods? Because I feel like you'd want to have some good memories for the last bit. So I figured, obviously nostalgic foods. But yeah, oddly enough, well, I'm not the biggest breakfast person. What's going through my mind is a lot of breakfasty foods. Like for example, cereal and huevos con weenie for some reason came to mind, which is just like eggs and sausage. Or not sausage, but like hot dog meat, just cooked up. I feel like, again, nostalgic things, everything. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like maybe even a cookie or a brownie. I feel like you can't go wrong. They're always like warm. Obviously not temperature wise. Well, temperature wise, but I mean in the warm, in the way that you feel warm inside. I feel like that would be good to have. I'm trying to think what else. Yeah, I don't know, just my favorite foods. Or obviously plates. But yeah. That's a bit random. Why am I talking about that? Oh, probably because I was talking about zombies. But yeah, zombies. That's another thing. As a kid, I always thought I could last a while. I thought I was very resourceful. Not to say that I'm not. But now I'm thinking about it, it's like, would I last long? If you know you guys seen or watch, oh god, I'm blanking. But Katya and Trixie, they recently saw a clip where they're talking about how they're turned to a zombie, how they wouldn't need much confirmation, basically, to take someone out if they're a zombie. I feel like that's the thing. Obviously, in the scenario or in the situation is different, but I feel like if a loved one of mine was turning to a zombie, I would want to put them out of misery as quick as possible, because turning to a zombie, at least for all the movies and TV shows, the way it's been adapted, it always looks so painful when they're turning to zombies. So I feel like I would put them out their misery, and also they don't obviously become a zombie. But then again, obviously the trauma of seeing your loved one is obviously different. But watching it, I'm just like, that's what I would do. But yeah. But yeah, watching this, or not watching this, but building this, I was thinking a lot of, obviously with your typical zombie shows and movies like that. I've actually never seen Walking Dead. I don't know if that's a crazy thing to say, but never seen it. I watched Last of Us. I play the game, but I'm not the best at survival kind of games. I would love to eventually expand on my channel and do some games like that, but I feel like it would just piss people off. Like, you know, watching a horror movie and they make dumb decisions. That'll be me when I'm playing games. So I feel like it wouldn't be as interesting. So I'm definitely trying to figure out what new games to play. Just because Sims, while it's fun, just to come up with something every week, at least I'm doing these 2 videos a week, to come up with the 2 builds a week is a bit challenging. So I'm definitely looking for some new games. So if you guys have any game recommendations, I would very much appreciate if you guys can let me know. I recently downloaded one. What's it called? I don't know how to pronounce it. Palia? P-A-L-I-A. I don't know why I said that right. Palia? Not sure. But yeah, I heard some good stuff about that, and it's like a open world adventure kind of game. So that'll be kind of fun. I'm curious what you guys think of that if you have played it. Another thing I'm not good at playing is horror games. I don't know why. Ever since I was a kid, playing these games where you're being chased, I would just freak out. Even as a kid, playing tag, I don't know why, I would like shut down. Which is interesting because obviously we have the fly or fight response. And they always, obviously the freeze is another one. As a kid, I was definitely the freeze type. But then when I have situations in my actual life, besides video games and tag as a kid, I do react. So I don't know what that is about, because why am I freezing in something that is, I shouldn't complain, right? At least I'm freezing for stuff that I'm not actually in danger in. But why do I freeze up? No idea. But yeah, horror games is another thing I'm not good at. But yeah, hopefully I'll get better at it, and maybe one day I can actually try and expand with my channel and do some different games. But like I said, if you have any good recommendations, because again, I'm more of a, let's see, how would you describe like Sims and Minecraft? There's a way of describing it, I just can't think of it right now. Like just chill, more relaxing kind of cozy kind of games. So if you guys have any, please let me know. One thing that drew me into Balia, if that's how it's pronounced, is I'm currently watching the anime rerun, and it's like I feel like it's kind of like that, the adventure, open world kind of style of the game. Definitely reminds me of that, just because obviously free run, it is a travel journey kind of show with magic and stuff. So I may check that out. But yeah, back to the build. I see here I am going ahead and littering up as much as I can. Definitely putting a lot of trash around, just because the apocalypse, there is no one here to pick it up. But yeah, I just felt that I didn't really need much besides the trash and overgrown grass. So yeah, I also did this. What came in handy was what is it? I think it's from the Get Famous, that fire pit thing. And I also did a tent, which was also from the Get Famous, because I didn't want to put an actual tent. Just because if you're in a zombie apocalypse, I don't know if you would want to be outside of the building in a tent. But I just did it for a little bit of decor. What you see there. This is the file that got corrupted, so I had to put all this stuff back. And it's kind of unfortunate because I was on in a flow state, but just decorating and coming up with this, because this entire floor I did it in like 20 to 25 minutes. I'm not exactly sure. Like, that's how quickly I did it. So I was really proud of that. Like I said, it came along really well. But with the corrupted files, I am having to put everything back. But this floor here, you're gonna see me build, or watch me, as I build. I'm sorry, it's late. I don't know. My mind is a little bit slower than my mouth today. But yeah, I figured obviously a medical room would be good. Given the zombie apocalypse, you're gonna probably have an injury or two. So turn this room into a little small medic area. 2 bathrooms are upstairs as well. I furnished that again on my own, and then there's 1 bathroom in the first floor, and then I have like 2 rooms here on the second floor, but they are not bunks. I actually should have done bunk beds. Now thinking about it, but it's fine. I did these. I feel like these look like they can be moved around, so it looks more realistic, I guess, especially when you're in a zombie apocalypse and having to travel. So yeah, it's fine. I'm not too mad about it. But yeah, I really love the look of this build. I don't know, I just felt that it would be, while I didn't base it off of any particular zombie show, it just gave me the vibe that it would be in a zombie show for whatever reason. But yeah, this was again very fun because it seems like I'm almost building a set for a TV show, so that's what's kind of fun. I also did it with the curtains. I want to say, now that I see them, I did a whole bunch of like a mixed match curtains, even some banners and stuff for curtains, just because I feel like obviously in the apocalypse you'll have to be creative and a lot of makeshift items. So definitely wanted to get that across. Again, here I'm trying to find rugs and everything that looks worn down, just because, again, the apocalypse. But yeah, it was very fun. Also, I don't know if you saw it, but there's that wall there, because of the roofing. Obviously, it's a different wallpaper than the inside. It was just cutting through, but I decided to keep it just because it could look like whether the wall is peeling or the exposed, like, instead of exposed brick, it's the exposed, like, was it not flat wood, the exposed wood, or whatever it would be. But yeah, also now I'm seeing that desk with that teared up tablecloth. I thought the spooky stuff pack would have more things that would fit in, just because obviously the spooky stuff would have a little more worn down things. It didn't really like benefit much. More werewolf pack definitely was the most used, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, very fun build. I will say, I don't know what else I can do, but like other builds like this, like the apocalypse and stuff like that. But I definitely love something like this, just because it's more, I'm not sure how you guys play Sims. I don't know if anyone plays with the zombie apocalypse kind of story, but yeah, it's definitely fun build. But here I'm just littering up with, obviously, trying to find as much medical items, but also make it look realistic to what will be found in the apocalypse, because there's, in the get to work pack, obviously there's more advanced looking items and stuff, so I didn't want it to be like a full science lab in here, because it is a bar. So I was trying to find as much as I could that would be realistic, like that too. Or I just got rid of it and I kept that toothpaste there because it's like not worn, but obviously used. And then these mugs that are dirty, and stuff like that, try to find. But yeah, I guess I was doing something here because I'm not moving. I thought it was getting out the way. But like I said, if you guys have no idea what to build, I would definitely recommend doing something like this because it's fun to help, get creative and stuff like that. So I definitely recommend building something that's not necessarily something you would play with, but get creative with. Because like I said, this week I was really struggling what to come up with. So yeah, I had to go to Pinterest again just to get an idea. But yeah, alright. Hope you guys enjoyed. Again, let me know if you have any other game recorders I can try. And I'll see you guys next week. Take care. Bye.